Okay, so we're talking about some rules and structure and ways that we can help Walter develop more self-control. One of the rules I suggest for a lot of my clients is to ask the dog to sit at the door before I let it go in or out. So I come to the door, I say sit. At this point I would have walked away. He didn't sit within about 3 seconds. So what I do is I say sit once, and I tell him, I don't ask him. Most people, can you sit? The dog's like, no. So say it a little assertively. And then if he doesn't sit within a couple seconds, the more I repeat a command, the less I mean it, the less sincere I am. So I'm going to say it once. If he doesn't do it, I normally wouldn't have on a leash. I'm going to show you something different in a sec. But I would just go and sit down. And if he comes over and whimpers and whines and barks at me, I ignore him. Normally I would disagree with that sort of behavior, sit. But in that case, he's trying to engage me. He's trying to get something out of me and provoke a reaction. So if I respond to him, that's getting him what he wants. So I go to the couch and I sit down for 1 minute, or I just walk away. Sit down somewhere else. Don't stand at the door because then he knows you're waiting on him. Wait 1 minute, then come back to the door and tell him again, Walter, sit. And then I would walk away. And this time for 2 minutes, next time for 4 minutes, next time for 8 minutes. So each time he doesn't comply right away, he has to wait twice as long. Now, do this there's one direction to be more important to him. If he would rather be outside, start it with him inside. If he'd rather be inside, start it with him outside. That way you have more leverage over the situation. All right, so eventually do it both directions. So he has to sit outside to come inside. And he already does this for the most part, but a lot of dogs don't do this. And the dog goes sit at the door to tell you, I want to go outside. Walter already does that. So we're probably, for him, it's more going to be a want-to issue. So again, you sit, you do it my way or you're not getting your way. And I'm not going to yell at you, I'm not going to punish you, I'm just going to control the resource. Once we get to the point where you come up here and he's sitting automatically, you walk up here, he's sitting, or when you tell him to sit, he's sitting immediately, then you're ready for the next step, which is to make him wait for permission to go out the door. Now, Walter, come here. Let's put you over here, buddy. How about if I use a treat instead of pulling you in position? Come here, buddy. There we go. Sit. Yeah, of course you'll sit for a treat. Sit. All right, so now reaching for the handle is a lot of times what will get a dog worked up for it. Walter, sit. Well, Walter is doing really, really good. Most dogs, as soon as they hear this sound, get up. And what I want the dog to do is learn, just because the door opens doesn't mean I have permission to go out the door. I need to wait for the release word, which should never be the word okay. It's a top 50 word. I know of dogs who have actually had accidents because their word was okay, and so they just said it in passing. All right, Walter. Now, also, whoever goes out the door first is in charge. So you see, he keeps on trying to move in between me and the door. Now, if I come to the door and answer it with him in front of me, he's just going to continue to think that I'm assisting him, and he's going to continue accosting guests. So one of the rules I suggested, he has to be basically in that position when we open the door off this little landing. So what I want to do is I want to achieve having him in a sit. Come here, buddy. I don't want to pull you in position. Come here. Sit. Sit. There you go. Sit. Or I can open the door and then I can walk out the door first myself, and then the dog follows behind me. But that way I'm assuming the leadership position. For dogs, whoever's in front is considered the leader, whoever's behind is considered the follower. Now for a lot of dogs, I will go through it because Walter didn't do it now, he might do it later. I would put him in this scenario on this side. Even if I'm walking on the right, going out the door, I want him on the left, so I can open the door without him having to move. So I put him here into a sit. I use a leash, so in case he runs out, we don't have a door dasher who's going to get in trouble. So the first step is just this. For a lot of dogs, just reaching, they get up out of it. So if your dog doesn't get up, then you can go to the next step and turn this. But you saw it, he turned to look as soon as he heard that sound. So the idea is to break this into individual steps. First one is just reaching for it. And if he gets up, I reach back, sit, and I get to the point where I can go like this, and he doesn't get up. The next step is, and I make it as loud as I possibly can, because then when I do a regular, it's easy for him. So now also you have a deadbolt here. So is it?
It's stuck.
It's stuck. Okay. So if it weren't stuck and it made good rhythm, again, I would make a lot of noise with that one. If you use the chain link, Make it as noisy as possible so that he has to sit through all those individual steps. Then when I open it, I usually open it a crack. And that's when they usually get up, I put it back down, tell them to sit. So what I'm doing is basically breaking down the ritual of leaving into individual steps and helping him practice each step one at a time to teach him the behavior that's expected for each step. Then at the end, I can put them all together and he knows how to behave. This is where a lot of dog problems come, is people don't actually teach the dog how they want them to behave. Then we get very upset when they don't do what we haven't taught them. And the dog gets frustrated because you didn't teach me what you want me to do. It's not that hard. Not every time that you go out you'll have to do this. If you do this like for a week, by the end of the week, he'll just sit there. It doesn't matter what, you can have a marching band right outside here and he just sits here because he understands that I'm not allowed to go out until I get the permission. Now, to teach him to actually go out, what I would probably do, now we have a fenced in front yard so we can get away with this here. So when it's time for him to go out, Walter, sit. So let's say that we've achieved everything that we need to do and now it's time for him to go outside. I want to assign the command word, Walter. And I'm going to say exit for now. We can come up with anything. Try to come up with a fun command word. Dogs can read your facial expression. So if I'm ready for him to go out, and let's say, now if I'm going out for him on a walk, I would go out first. But in this case, I'm just using the leash because I don't want him to run through when we're practicing an exercise. So let's say that we've already established this. Walter has a front yard, so we don't have to worry about him running away. Sit. So once I've opened the door and he stays sitting, then I go like this. Exit. The second he touches with his lips, I'm going to say the word exit. And after I do that enough repetitions in a row, he'll sit there waiting for you to say exit. And that's a very specific word. This way you can have friends and neighbors and people come and go, and he just looks at the door and I'm not allowed to go out there. And he is developing and practicing self-control and self-restraint, which is a really important quality for most dogs to have if they do not develop properly. So this way, you've kind of taught him the behavior you want, you've taught him the command word to go outside, and you've achieved an exercise that helps him practice self-control, which will help a lot of his other behaviors in a positive way. All right, this is how you can teach your dog to sit and wait for permission to go out an open door.